Ooh, you hear them claps. You know the vibes. You feel the energy in the room. It's getting more and more. This getting scary in here, bro. Oh, look. Hey, man, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to No Free Game Podcast. I am your humble, gracious host, King Solomon. My boy's back to me to my right.
Oh,
the Big Juice Show. Shout out to my nigga Sha for holding on. You know what I mean? He here with us. I'm sorry, he here with us. Man, today's gonna be a day. So before we begin, before I introduce our guests, before I do anything, I want to say I'm ashamed of us.
Why?
I'm ashamed of us. We've been doing this for a year now, a little bit over a year.
Okay.
And we've had many different people on. We've had people who do this, people who do that, you know, all that good shit. We haven't had a woman on here.
I want to say, I disagree.
When we have a woman on here?
I don't have proof. I don't have proof, but I disagree.
Man, shut up. Listen, we haven't had a woman on here, and I felt it was fucking about time to get a goddamn educated, successful, and glowing and growing woman on the pod.
Let's go.
Her friends call her Coco, but you, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Ariana for joining us today. Let's make some claps and make some noise.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So the first lady.
The first lady.
Wow, I didn't know all that.
Yeah, I didn't even tell you that. We were talking off here. I didn't give you none of that info. You are our first woman on here. So, yo, man, thank you so much for joining us. We greatly appreciate it.
I am honored.
Before we do anything, how are you? How you feeling? How's your energy? How you been?
Blessed, busy. You know, thank God. I have to thank God every day for that. But you know, I feel like this time, me and Shai was just talking about it. Actually, it's like a real converting time. So
like
like
that.
a lot of things are like changing.
Yeah,
coming to fruition. Like, so it's nice. It's been grind season for a minute, so it's nice.
Yeah, I noticed that too. A lot of like just coming together, things changing, like
The energy.
COVID was a weird, COVID really like changed everything, son. For real. Like,
Yo, COVID or Kobe?
shut the fuck. It might be. I'll be Kobe, man. Yo, so listen, before we get started, yeah, of course.
Okay, can I spark it?
And so not only are you the first woman on the pod, you're the first person we let smoke on the pod.
Oh my God, that's even bigger history.
Okay. Now it's gonna fit the theme of the episode, and we'll get there later.
Okay.
But first things first, as you all, and she wrote, first let's get some claps going for it. Look at that roll, son. Look at the roll. Look at the roll.
What's the flavor? What's the flavor? I'm out the loop, so I don't even know what's going on.
Okay, so I do like gas. Okay, if what I'm gonna do is gonna be the gas. So I got some Cali exotics. Very excited about this.
Okay.
You know, so. But I do have to shout out two of the things that I have right now because they're actually from my store. We just got brand new Havana leaves in. I actually own 2 smoke shops in Jersey City. Again, we'll get there. And Havana just did a fire drop of grape soda. These are gas, so I'm rolling up on these. I've been obsessed with them lately. And then I got the double barrel lighter.
I ain't gonna lie, that shit hard.
That's a lighter,
and it
that's
got the
hard.
torch flame too.
And it's a torch.
It's not even the punk flame. You know the shit. Well, I will say no crackhead flames be lit. The crackhead flames that hold you down, but they're like, eventually you gotta get away from the crackhead flames.
I don't know. I had one since 2021. It's just the shit.
It's the same one. You ain't changed shit.
It's no liquid. Nothing.
And you know, because look, this one dying out on me is my favorite one.
I'm about to say, it's
That's
fire.
where the crackhead flame come in.
You feel me?
Yeah,
That shit going for 7 years. You heard?
She dug it.
I don't know how. It's going off belief.
But so listen, I want to start it off today. Please, Ariana, if you could, just give us a little bit about yourself, your background, why you're here today, how we got you here today. Just let the people know a little bit more about you.
Dope, I'd be happy to. So actually, the irony comes in. I'm here today because of Shy.
Shout out to Shy.
Let's go.
Shy has me working overtime. Y'all not, and he behind the scene. Y'all don't even, you know what I mean?
Always. Nah, big shout out to Shy.
Let's go.
That's been family now for a couple years. And speaking of things changing, coming to fruition, Shy met me when I was 100% Coco. Like when it was a completely different person. So a little bit about myself is I was born and raised in Jersey City. I actually come from 2 really dope families. My father is first generation Puerto Rican. And my mom is second generation Italian. So I like to tell people like My dad is as Puerto Rican as New York Rican as you can get. Born in the Bronx.
Oh yeah, New York Rican is a little bit different. I already know what time it is.
Born in the Bronx, raised in Jersey City. He has an impeccable story. I could go on for days about that. And then my mom, that side of the family is kind of like, have you guys ever seen The Sopranos?
Oh, that's one of my best shows of all time.
Family dynamic on the Italian side.
Oh, wow.
Not that extreme, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you
But,
know,
like,
Italians, you be knowing, son. Just know,
that,
you
that
know the vibe.
Italian American, like that's the best way to explain it. So
That's a huge culture clash though. Like
yeah, West Side Story to its finest, I guess. Like they be making like.
that's dope.
But honestly, I'm very grateful. I was blessed enough to grow up traditionally in both of my cultures, being that both of my families were migrant, and also like I was born and raised in Jersey City. And if you guys know anything about Jersey City, it is the most diverse city in the country for like
100%.
years ongoing. So I grew up with like a little sprinkle of that. So it's like I'm three things at once, kind of.
But Jersey City, you get it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's basically my background. I come from beautiful, very humble beginnings. I come from two parents who sacrificed everything basically to give me and my sister an opportunity at life. If you guys know anything about like migrant families, there's mad jokes about it, like inner city families who like come from other places and this is where dreams are made of. Like they typically succumb to two things, which is poverty and substance abuse.
Always.
And I come
a lot, at
from
least.
a long line of that on both sides of my family. So like my parents I got to give it up to them because if it wasn't for them sacrificing everything, taking the risks, like starting to change and break the generational curses and the cycles, I would not be me.
Word.
But also in the
That's dope.
same
Shout
breath.
out Mom Dukes Pop
Yeah,
Dukes.
let's get some
Hey,
class.
shout.
Let's get some class of mom dudes and pops dudes, man, for real.
But in the same breath, you know, my background is my background. And given that I have had the opportunity to grow up very quickly, I did what I had to do growing up, you know, raising myself. When I had met Shy, I had been bartending. I started bartending when I was 19. Yeah.
Yeah, you know how it is. Yeah, if you've been to any bar in the hood, you know.
Well, what part of Jersey City we talking about? If
Well-
we get too in depth, but
Yeah, so my family, majority of my family is from like the Duncan West Side area, but I grew up in the Heights primarily.
okay.
Which is very like Latino based, you know, community. It's diverse as well, but you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of Latinos in the area. I was actually not bartending in Jersey when I started. I went to college in Providence, Rhode Island. I went to culinary school out there. And when I was out there, you had to be 18 to handle liquor, 21 to drink. So you could bartend out there. Yeah. And
Fucking Rhode Island.
Word. So when I went out there, actually when I made the decision to go to college again, come from two beautiful parents but very humble beginnings, everything was on me. So I moved down on my own for the first time at 18. I was a full-time student athlete. I was playing basketball.
And she a baller. Class going. And she a ball player,
At
man.
Providence?
Yeah.
Oh,
no, not at
shit.
Providence College. I went to Johnson and Wales.
Okay.
But I was there when Providence College won NCAAs. And when I tell you the most littiest lit time ever. Right?
I can see that.
This is also around the same time that like the Patriots had won like 13 Super Bowls back to back.
Hey, man, y'all know what time.
Like,
Hey,
it was,
y'all-
it was
if y'all
lit
don't
out
know,
there.
shout out to my
England
Pats,
area.
man. Shout out to my fucking Patriots. Get some more class from my motherfucking Pats, man.
I guess.
We was lost the Super Bowl. I want to hear shit from you. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
It was definitely lit out
Yeah,
there.
area.
But yeah, so when I went out there, I was trying my hardest. You know, I'm going to school. I'm trying to pay for school, trying to pay for my apartment. Then you got books. Then you got to pay for food. Like, you know, when you move out, there's a lot more responsibilities than just rent.
100 racks.
So I'm doing all this shit. I'm like, oh God, I got to make this work. I got to make this happen. And I remember I was working 2 full-time jobs as a full-time student athlete. And it was
Fucking unbelievable.
insane. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even know how I did it. And then I remember going into my sophomore year. I was like, it was like summer of my freshman year going into I was like, I need to figure something out. Like, I can't not do this. And there was an abundance of strip clubs in Providence. And I was actually working at Victoria's Secret at the time. And there was girls that would come in and they would come in on like a Friday and get like $500, $600 worth of lingerie for the weekend. Every single Friday, my same customers. And I'm making commission off of them. So I'm racking up. And I remember just being like, girl, what the fuck? What are you doing? What is this? I'm 19, like I'm ignorant, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, girl. And she broke it down to me and she was like, you wasting your time here, all this other time. Like, it's not in me. That's a different type of hustle.
Right.
I respect it. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely a 2-4-7 hustle, but it's a different type of hustle. And I was like, I'm not built for that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she was like, we're hiring for a bartender. Like, just talk. Like, come and just talk. You'll do fine. So then I had called my best friend here, and I was talking to him, and he's like, bitch, if you don't put on your Sunday's best, then do your
Yo, no bullshit, no. And I'm not even a strip club dude, but I've been there enough times. The bartenders really be getting more bread than the strippers do. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
That's why they call star tenders.
Right, because usually the bartenders look better. So like the guys end up talking to the bartenders and then they throw the little bread because you got to in the strip club. You can't, you know what I mean? But then you end up going back to the
allure. It's a different allure.
Yeah.
Like, what about you look, if not better, at the least bit, just as good, right? So why are you not on the stage?
Got some morals.
So now who knows? But the question is why? But not like you said, it's a hustle regardless. But that's the thing. That's the thing. So continue the story. But that's the thing.
So no, that was it. So I wound up going out there. I knew this one place that I wanted to bartend at. I'm gonna shout them out. The name is Wonderland.
Shout out to Wonderland in Rhode Island,
in Rhode Island. Providence.
Wonderland in
Wonderland
Providence, man.
Providence.
If you are Providence, you gotta go to Wonderland, yeah.
I went out there, Jam at the time. I interviewed with him, and I lied my ass off. I was like, I had bartended before. If you're from Jersey City, you know, I was like, I used to bartend at the Keyhole, which is like a grandpa bar. So I just know how to do like shots and beers. And he was like, I'm gonna give you one shot. He's like, you're gonna work this weekend. We'll see how it goes. And I worked the weekend, and I wound up doing really well. So they kept me, and I was there. I was there for a minute. I finessed it just as I was making like friends at Victoria's Secret. I was still working there.
Right.
Just like making friends with like the dancers at Victoria's Secret, I was kind of playing it the same way. Like I was very young. Like it was clear. They used to make me wear a wristband because I wasn't old enough to drink. So like,
and them old nasty niggas still in there. Hey, young girl. Hey, you know the old nasty niggas in the real back of the strip club. That is
put it on the second show. Put it on when he turned.
When he turned, I cannot. No, but so that was it. I just kind of finessed it. I made friends with the girls, and I would do it in a way that it was like when I would have friends come to the bar, I'd be like, those are my girls, you got to go tip them. So then when they would have their customers come, they'd be like, you need a drink, you better go chill with my girl. And then I would always just make it a benefit to them. Like if they needed, like if I know my girl was going on the stage, I was the one that was handling the cash bank behind the bar. So if their customer was like, you know, oh, I need $1,000 in singles, I would literally drop everything, make sure I got them their singles. And
to
then,
make sure they could throw,
so that they got handled.
That's love.
And then they would always show me love back. Versus like every other bartender would be like, yo, fuck these singles. I'm trying to make my money.
Right.
Help all these people at the bar, whatever. So I would just finesse it in that way. And I wound up honestly, building some of the best relationships I ever had in my life with a few of those girls.
That's love. Yeah.
To this day, I still have friendships with them. Like my girl, Sada, she went from working with me in the club. She was doing bottle service, and now she owns her own dance studio in Providence.
What's her name?
Sada.
Shout out to Sada. Get some goddamn class with Sada. God, that's a fucking hustle, man.
Oh yeah. So don't doubt the products that come from those environments. It's just a different lane.
Right.
So I kind of grew through that. I learned how to navigate relationships through that. I learned how to deal with people who have a lot of fucking money. Being in those situations, because realistically speaking, in front of my bars, it's not just an everyday person. Like, I'm having athletes, I'm having celebrities, I'm having lawyers, doctors, stuff like that. And to be able to have full-blown communications, it was like a way that I learned. Not only that, like there's a certain level of communication as a bartender,
right,
for an exchange for tips, right?
Right.
It's a little more intimate, right?
Not necessarily.
Not intimate on a sexual. I mean, like people have an ulterior motive, and like you said, I think anybody in that type of, not that like the strip club personally, but like when you dealing with like that's cash in hand, and like you said, a lot of those girls, whomever the owner, everybody got a motive. Everybody got a hustle. People like, oh, it's filthy. Why is it filthy? Because you don't want to do it.
Right, it's
not
different.
filthy. It's harder.
Right,
it's harder, and you can't judge nobody based off of that circumstance. Like people who came to own things from that circumstance.
Yeah.
So when you dealing with people, you like, oh, this nigga a lawyer, but he doing this. You're like, really?
It's more, but I will get back to it. You're right about it being intimate because, yes, of course, like typically, like these people are coming here to be with the dancers for certain reasons.
That's the intimacy.
That's a certain level of intimacy. Yeah. But to be transparent with you, the reason why I was making great money is because I had a level of conversation. Like sometimes people just want to talk.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes they had a fucked up day at work. It's just nice to have a a high wall and to sit and let some steam, make a couple of laughs with a pretty girl. You know what I'm
Beautiful
saying?
face with a non-biased ear.
Somebody that's not going to judge you.
Right.
Somebody that's
and they're not begging you for $1. You know what I mean? And not even say beg. I don't like using the word beg, but like you at the strip club and you want, but
let's talk about
some strip clubs and I don't want to go to
Jersey,
but some strip clubs the girls just be mad aggressive and it's like
I will say Jersey strip club. At Jersey, New York strip club culture. I'm saying you too, puppy. I will say Jersey, New York strip club culture is very different because Providence was a different energy. Also, too, you gotta recognize here. Like I've worked in New Jersey, I've worked in New York, I've worked at a couple different places. So my club, Wonderland, the original one was in Miami.
Oh shit!
So they had a second location in Providence. They would literally send us back and forth for like fight night, and, like rotate us and stuff like that. It was dope. It was super fly. But like if you look at the culture of strip clubs in Florida, in Miami, right? You can have a bar, alcohol, and the dancers are fully nude.
Yeah.
So there's a clear separation between bartenders and dancers.
Right.
Now in Providence, you can't be fully nude. You can show topless, but you can have a bar. But because of this, the bar and the stage are still completely separate, and there's a clear separation between dancers and bartenders.
Right.
In New Jersey and New York, the stage is behind the bar.
Yes, it is.
If you look at any strip club here, the dancers and the bartenders are in the same space. So it's a different culture because then customers don't have a separation. You get what I'm saying? And so, there are times where like the girls, there's a beef between dancers and bartenders.
Because they're always beefing. You all see, like I ain't, again, I'm not a strip club guy, so I didn't know.
But the term star tender obviously must
probably
be Northeast because that's the thing, because it could be competition where we've also seen bartenders and strippers
get straight up fights.
Yeah. But step your game up. What the fuck is this?
And I'm gonna let you finish, but like, and it be mad because you just sat down, you just got or you waiting for your singles, and you want to make eye contact sometimes because if you do, literally in two. I was like, oh shit,
I'm getting my money, and you like this, you like,
damn, mommy, hold on, and it's the girl you're not even really trying to talk to, so like now you don't lock
trying to pity tip.
Now I was like, all right, yeah, now you got to throw her the 3 just so, you know what I mean?
She like, that's it? I don't even know what you look like. I'm fucking feeling this shit with my, fuck do you look like? Just keep going.
Oh my God, that's funny, but I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's crazy.
But no, so that's basically how I learned how to like navigate through. And also I learned how to, so like you're saying, getting intimate, having different types of conversations, how to navigate certain situations. Like it's kind of like everything was business focused, but I was in front of high level people. Right. So then when I had made the transition, and I remember I was leaving nightlife right around the time that me and Shai had met.
Okay.
I was like in that phase. I had graduated from culinary school in college. I had started my own cakes business. So I was doing like all desserts, stuff like this. And Caesar, who was in charge of the brunch exchange.
Shout out to the Wolf C's, man. Shout out to what amazing guest. Shout out to the Wolf C's, man. For real.
Casa de Lobo.
Casa de Lobo.
Ooh. And Chef Coletti.
Oh. I know y'all seen that one. I know you seen
Big Ep. Check it out now.
We seen the numbers.
Word.
King Solomon. Chef Coletti, check that out. Had to plug that in.
Appreciate you.
100%. But both of them took a chance on me, just a shorty trying to make it work, a little bartender, trying to start her own business. Then they put me on a really nice platform. And they made me their executive pastry chef for the brunch exchange.
That's love.
And that's how me and Shai met. We clicked up ever since. And I've just gone through a million cycles since then. I've grown from bartending, completely left nightlife, to basically shifting from alcohol to flower. I've completely went into the cannabis industry. When I was leaving nightlife, my whole motive was because I really wanted to dive into being a real estate agent. And obviously, those are two very conflicting businesses, being that I have to promote a club 50% of the time, and then my business 50% of the time, it wasn't mixing, like, at all. And I always knew that bartending was only a stepping stone for me. I never planned on staying there. So I took the risk, went out of it, went all in on my personal business with the cakes, did my real estate schooling, was in like my first year of real estate where I was still bartending, but like stepping my way out of it. And then we went into fucking COVID. And my cakes,
So this is all between like circa 18, 19-ish.
Yeah.
And then it's taken off.
Yes, yeah.
COVID.
And then COVID hit. my cakes business failed because we weren't an essential business and I wasn't selling cakes quick enough. Like the product was you know, it was going bad, all that good stuff. And it was high key a blessing in disguise. I say that because I was doing everything from it was all my original recipes to buying the inventory to making the cakes, delivering the cakes, doing the social media. So it was a lot of fucking work for not enough money. And I learned that. Like it was my first take at like a real fucking business. So I wound up leaving that. Do I have to stop? I'm good.
No, you good. You good. No, you good.
Word. So I wound up basically, I closed the doors on that business, learned a lot from that business, and at the same time that I closed the doors on that business, I fully transitioned into real estate and shifted from thinking that I wanted to do residential to doing fully commercial. And that's when I started working with small businesses and getting, you know, at this time is when I started converting actually a lot of my bigger clientele from bartending to clients.
Wow.
Which was dope.
Look at that full circle moment for
full
real.
ass circle, yeah. So then I was, you know, I was getting, you know, my clients that were coming in, like these people, they were looking to open up businesses, whether they be barbershops or there'd be lounges and clubs or, you know, whatever it may be. So I was helping a lot of small businesses get in their doors. I grew. I wound up working with like franchise businesses as well now. And then I grew even further, starting the recreational passing of marijuana in New Jersey. And now I am a cannabis real estate agent. So I help everybody from dispensaries to cultivators to cannabis businesses open up their brick and mortars.
God damn, let's get some motherfucking bomb drops. Oh my God.
Let's give some roses.
Yo, man, we have
suggest the introductory lane. Because those were a lot of lane switches just that in a short period of time. And people, if y'all can remember how tough COVID was. For you to, so what was it just COVID or was it like, you were like, all right, this might work? For you to make that complete, because you were baking cakes. Like,
baking, yeah.
That's a whole different entity.
Yeah, and it was crazy for me because that's exactly what I went to college for. Like I went to culinary school to do pastry. Like I was there for their pastry program. So I really thought like I
love pastries.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna stunt like no cocky shit. I'm nasty with it, but
oh shit. We need a bake off. We need a bake off. HGTV plug us in.
Bake off episode now.
Fuck
Food Network.
You do chocolate. Only if it's chocolate though. Niggas fucking with chocolate.
I got you. I make the best brownies. By far. But
back to the question.
He he's had those. Shy can attest to it.
Oh shit, it's up. Back to the question.
Wait. Refresh my memory with the
Pretty
question.
much,
the shift.
Was it the shift? Was it COVID or just like?
It was definitely COVID. It was more of like a back against the wall type thing. Like it was like now I have no other option because I probably would have had the business stay open. I would have just fought through all the adversities that I was unhappy with and everything like that just because I felt like a piece of pride connected to it. Because I went to college for it, and it was my first business. So it was like a passion project. I felt like I had to do it. So honestly, COVID made me set a boundary, and I appreciate that. But in the same breath, going into COVID, I actually had a lot of traumatizing shit happen, like directly prior to going into lockdown. And I think all of those things, it was just like I had literally hit a rock bottom overall, spiritually, mentally. And I was like, you know, it could go one of two ways. Either I could fall into this path, like everything that I come from, and it was happening very quickly, or I could get myself the fuck out of what the fuck I was dealing with. Like, you know what I'm saying? Amazing. So it was like my back was against the wall in every situation, in every sense. And it was like, okay, it's either I pivot right now or it's like you're just gonna keep feeling sorry for yourself and this is where you're going with it. You know what I'm saying? And so I pivoted and it was scary. It's still scary. I'm still fucking up. I don't know what I'm doing.
but you it seems as if which most people in our generation, in our culture, it's simple. You can fall victim or not. And I think we overanalyze my grandmother's cousin Susan. Fuck, you never met her. Well, you know, it's shit like that. Either you do it or you don't.
And even deeper than that, I think like a lot of times, you know, you really learn who you are in those sink or swim moments.
Yes.
Right? I feel like a lot of times when you are comfortable and you are in spots or places where you know everybody, you are, or you've done this for a long time or whatever the case is, you know, you kind of have an understanding and just a comfortability. And when things, you know, like a COVID, some shit happens, it's like if you don't ever give yourself the chance to sink, right? Like to really throw yourself in these deep waters to say like, yo, what type of person am I? Like, and a lot of times I can see more of like a personal conversation. Like, what type of person really am I, right?
What's your sink or swim moment?
Me personally?
Yeah, that got us here. Like, what's your yeah, nigga.
So, I want to hear it.
So so my sink or swim moment was actually around COVID too. If anybody knows me personally, I was doing music. Things were on the rise. Everything was cool. Then COVID happened. Everything shut down. You can't do shows anymore. People not really people so worried about what's going on. People not really trying to listen to music. People just trying to get their lives together and trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
And it was in that moment I'm like, oh shit, like, am I like, do I want to be broke forever? And not even deep. I think even deeper than that. I learned that like I really like making money. Like I really, really like fucking making money. And I thought I like making music. And I do. I love making music and I always will. But I really fucking like making money. So I was like, oh shit, that might be my passion. And then from there, boom, boom, things happen. And now I'm working in the finance world and everything is cool. But, there was a good 6 months where it was like, yo, wasn't for my parents and nigga would be on the corner. Like it was rough. And but the interesting part about like when you put in those positions, I never once wavered. Like my mentality, like mentally, I never thought I was gonna stay here. I always knew it was just a matter of time. And I tell anybody this when it comes to like confidence, like you have to have a unbelievable, like unrealistic confidence in yourself to really do something. Delusion.
The Delulu is real.
Like you have to be delusional in your confidence because if you're not, nobody else will. Yeah. And it's very, very easy to, especially now with social media, whatever, you see things, you hear things, and it's very easy to be like, damn, it's just not in the cards for me. This is just not for me.
Easy.
And I don't believe that. I think everybody has their thing. I think everybody can do what they want to do. I just think, there's I'm good, thank you. There's just a level of like, I think it's a level of like,
let me know what you think.
it's just a level of like, just belief in yourself. So enough about me, about
no, 100% though, I like it.
But so what I want to go is you mentioned, first I want to talk about your commercial real estate career. Mm-hmm. And really why I want to touch on this is because a lot of times when you hear about real estate, you assume housing market. And that's where 95% of people that you meet are trying to do like selling houses and things like that. So you instead went to the commercial route. Yeah. So my first question is why did you go the commercial route and why didn't you stay doing like houses and things like that?
So COVID was the real switch from residential. When I had first gotten started in real estate, just like every other person, that's all you think about.
Right. That's kind of all you know. Really.
Yeah. And then also too, you think that's the only place you can get clients. Like, I know friends who need apartments. Like I need an apartment. Like that. Okay, that could get clients that way. But when it came to COVID, nobody was fucking moving. Nobody was even willing to do a tour with me. Like they were literally afraid to meet with me in person to look at a property. Like, so, and this is at a time where we weren't even signing documents. Like we weren't even signing leases via DocuSign. Like everything had to be physically in person.
Oh boy.
This guest. He took one hit.
So I told him.
2 hits.
I started looking for my inhaler in 2020.
Yeah, you're not smoking no more on a fucking podcast.
I don't think so.
Bro, he hit 2 hits. He fucking on.
I'm hot. I'm sorry, Coco. I'm embarrassing.
All right,
we live.
I'm crying.
My fault.
We live. We gonna keep it going. Shit, if I'm no use, nigga, you know why. You gonna keep this shit going.
Oh man, welcome to No Pregame Podcast. I don't know if you knew how this worked.
Right.
No pregame. I'm trying to hold that.
And you trying to get that shit out too,
nigga. Fuck! I started sweating like fuck this. Fuck this. We've been here before.
We gotta remind yourself we've been here before.
We've been here before. Fuck it. I'm on camera.
My fault. So I'm sorry. So why did you get into commercial real estate? My bad. This nigga's a nut.
Ooh, that was funny as hell. No, I needed that. That was great.
Oh man.
No, so that was what I really made the switch because I was like, bro, nobody would even come just signing with me in person. I was like, yeah, this is not working. And then I also realized I did not fucking like residential real estate at all. Okay. Like not even a little bit. And there's, you realize that when you become a professional in anything, right? Like if you think about an artist, okay, if somebody is really extremely passionate about, poetry and they're just very into the rhythm and everything like that, they're going to aim towards like a rap background. Right. If you make them fucking sing country music, they're not going to be happy. It's not fun. It's not their lane. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to, just to preface that, because people don't cancel me that I don't like to be a residential agent. It's not, I just wanted to preface, like, it depends when you get into a field, like you really start to realize what works, what doesn't. And I realized that residential real estate was too emotional for me. I understand numbers way too much. And coming from a background where nobody in my family, except for literally my parents, owned property. We came into that by a blessing. You get me what I'm saying? So my grandparents were the first homeowners in my entire family, my Italian side. The first homeowners, and then it trickled down to like my parents. So coming from a background like that, I'm like, we have no room to be fucking.
You said second gen.
Second gen. So it was first gen that was here. Yeah. That actually, because my grandfather was born in Hoboken, the Italian one, and then moved to Jersey City.
What year? Let's get a perspective. Let's.
He basically was there the same time Frank Sinatra was there.
That's what I wanted to hear. Shout out Frank Sinatra. That time, yeah, that was the East Side story.
60s?
No, nigga, 40s.
40s, right?
Yeah,
40s.
That's like great
early.
Wow.
Yeah. My grandfather used to work at Lackawanna, which is the factory down there.
Oh.
Yeah, so they converted that factory
Jersey
completely.
City's very historic. That's crazy. That's a whole very shit. Very emotional.
Yeah, so coming from a background like that, I'm like, we have no room to be emotional.
Right.
Like, I'm like, we have to be making these decisions literally financially. Like, these should be financially based decisions, not emotional based decisions. And it does not mean that there's not a place for residential real estate, and there's amazing agents that can assist residential clients. Right. It's just not the best fit for me. I'd be doing my clients a disservice because they're more concerned about the paint and the way the room is set up, where I'm like, this financially would make the most sense for you for the next 3 to 5 years. Get your coin up. We could do this, X, Y, and Z, and then we can get to where you need to be. So when I started realizing it was more like, I'm not happy with residential, and then I actually had my first commercial client come to me. It was a barbershop. And it was somebody that I knew from bartending. And they were like, bro, I'm trying to open up like a second spot. They already had a first spot. They were looking at a certain location. That was my first taste of like commercial real estate. And I'm like, I like this so much better. Like, this just makes so much more sense for me. And I also enjoyed the entire process.
I was going to say, was the process faster?
No, it's honestly way slower, and the payout takes way fucking longer. Residential real estate agents, you get paid typically, like if you're doing a rental, you probably, this person is looking for an apartment. They typically have to move out on the first. You probably do 5 to 10 tours at max with them. Okay. You wound up closing within 30 days. You get a full month's rent as your payout. I get it. Right? Yeah. Versus with me, somebody could be looking for their storefront for 2 years. Right. And then even after I get them into the storefront, I get compensated off the aggregated lease. So I don't get like a month's rent. I get 4 to 6% of the entire lease term that gets paid out. Can
we explain that?
Yeah. Let's say, I'll do some maths.
Yeah, so like easy numbers, listen, not everybody
wants to.
Let's say somebody's worth $100K. Let's just to make it super easy numbers.
Excuse me?
No, wait. Let's say a lease, right? So let's say you get a store and you're paying $2,500 a month for your lease in your storefront. So on the annual, that's $30,000 a year that you're paying for rent to open up your storefront. Okay. So if you have a 10-year lease, that's $300,000, right? So I basically, the 6% off of that is 18 bands. Off of the
and that's what you get at closing, or
at closing.
Okay.
So, and then it depends on the closing periods. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it is a longer payout. It does take more time, whatever it may be. But I enjoyed every step of the process.
I love that. So, because this is a new world for us, and when you speak to a lot of people, again, they're into residential stuff and not really commercial. In your mind, what is like the most profitable commercial real estate properties?
Yes. So honestly, my favorite thing to work on, now that I've grown, so it started off like that, like $2,500 leases a month, like small business, stuff like that. I love working on, I still love working with smaller businesses, getting their storefronts. Cannabis clients, the numbers are absurd. I love working with cannabis clients. But also, I love working with land development and acquisition. That's a part of my commercial real estate. So I do sales where like I will sell distressed properties, right? So like, again,
what's a distressed property?
So I deal with distressed debt. So that's interesting. Distressed property.
Well, ask a money question.
No, shut the fuck up. Go ahead. So what's a distressed property?
So like just distressed property, a great example would be my grandma's house, like my grandparents' house. We just talked about how they were the first homeowners, right? They bought that property in 2001. Okay, they probably bought it for like $200,000, not even. It was like $100 and something thousand. I think they bought it for. When about 3 years ago, I had sold my grandparents' house. So we've held from 2001 until now, basically 3 years ago.
That's amazing though.
Right? Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Good. 20 years.
20 years. We basically held this entire time. And then when it was time for us to sell, the property was completely like my grandmother had raised every generation of us in this house.
Right. So,
it was a single family house.
Yeah.
And on my Italian side, I'm one of 30 cousins. So you can imagine, like, you know what I'm saying? So, and it's not like, again, migrant family. We had no money to upkeep the crib. Nobody was putting money into the house. Like the house was just there. Like the house, we was just living. You know what I'm saying? Right. So when my grandmother had passed away, my mom's brothers and sisters, they had to make a decision what we're gonna do with the house. Nobody could afford to renovate the house, upkeep the house, live in the house, nothing. So the only thing that made sense was to sell it. Right. I was the one who sold it. Okay. We just went through that whole thing. It was a wreck, all this stuff like that. The house falling apart. Nobody has the money to take care of it. They had purchased the house for $190,000 in 2001. I had the house active for about 48 hours for buyers.
Wow, that's it?
48 hours. The asking was $500,000.
And it was in Hoboken?
Jersey City.
Jersey City. Okay.
Jersey City.
Oh, that's
in the Heights.
why.
In the Heights, though, very residential. It was active 48 hours.
Asking price?
$500,000 was my asking. Okay. I closed in 48 hours.
And what?
Cash.
Let me guess. 2 guesses. You get a guess.
I'm gonna say. You said 5. I'm gonna say 585. Fuck.
Over.
Yeah, 85,000?
No. No, you were over.
Oh, I was wrong. Okay. So you said 5, so 550.
We've sold 565,000.
Okay.
We closed in 2 weeks.
Cash.
As is.
Oh shit.
We didn't do we didn't even paint. We left the property completely as is. Okay, so cash.
Okay.
As is.
Because of the location. It's Jersey City.
It's just,
and I know, like it's because nowadays, and again, as someone, I don't know shit about real estate, but someone trying to buy a fucking house,
it's cash,
fucking
though.
Location is crazy.
Yeah, no, fuck that. Who's the capo?
And if you got cash, you're right. You don't have to go into that bidding war.
To be honest with you, you know who bought the property?
Yeah, who bought the?
It was 3 Indian brothers.
I knew it.
Oh my god!
Shout out to the Indian niggas. Hold on. Shout out to the Indian niggas. I knew. Yo, there's a lot of Indian motherfuckers in Jersey City. No cap.
That's crazy though.
3 Indian brothers. They owned a property around the corner. They came in cash the quickest. 2-week close. They wound up developing the property into a beautiful,
they flipped that shit all crazy.
Beautiful house.
I knew it.
Like,
I knew it.
So like that's where I do development land acquisition, and that's small scale. Like that's a small single family home. I do everything from lots that are entire blocks where it's one owner. We sell the whole block and we do a redevelopment. Like so.
That's fucking amazing. So it's interesting that you work in commercial real estate, because nowadays, if you hear about commercial real estate, you listen to the news or whatever, everything sounds like everything's falling off a fucking cliff.
Yeah.
Right? So I want to know, as someone who's actually in the game and like knows what's happening, I want to know, what is your opinion on like the future of commercial real estate? Mm-hmm. And B, do you see a commercial real estate crash coming at all?
Yes. But
yes to which one?
Yes to the crash. I definitely see a commercial real estate crash happening, just because one of the biggest things that I think is a benefit to the commercial real estate industry is not being done right, and that's cannabis. So I say this because a lot of people are getting into the cannabis industry for an equity grab. There's more value in understanding. Yeah, there's more value in understanding that there's money in this shit.
Now, is it equity just because of not thinking of it long term and kind of trying to take advantage of the moment, or
it's just a matter of the fact that this basically a time for licensing right now, a time for you to get like a cannabis license and like a retail or whatever it may be. This is like prohibition for weed. Yeah. So like imagine getting a liquor license
in 1930.
You're set.
Right. Okay, I see.
Hit the bomb. You're a Kennedy.
Sicko. Shut the fuck up. No, let's get some cops going for cocoa with this.
Oh yeah, we back.
First things first. And secondly, shout out to what is it? Women's
Suffrage month.
No, that's not suffrage. That is not.
Oh, I'm crying.
No, International Women's Day. Shut the international. Let's get some class for just the women in general. I've had our first women guest is during International Women. We didn't even think about it.
Yo, we covering it. We covering it.
Y'all strategically manifested that.
Yo, with the sun, we tapped it. So Coco, are you much into politics at all?
No.
I'm not either. As I've gotten older, I peep it more. But like the more I peep,
the more I don't like.
The more I want nothing to do with this goofy shit.
That's the thing that's hard with me. I feel like with the political stuff, I feel like I thought that I had a kind of good grasp. Like, I should be proud to be a woman and be able to vote. Especially like I'm a Latina, so like being a minority-based woman and be able to vote. Like that's a right that women that died for, right? But then like you look, like it's the system set up here, at least in America. It's like they give us two really fucked up options to cause like a crazy ass separation on purpose.
And even deeper than fucked up options, these options old as bricks. Right. Both these niggas, I just want you to understand, my father, who only 65, 66, whatever. That man be calling me all the time to fix the cable, fix the TV. Right? And you want, these niggas who's running shit, these niggas don't even know what the internet is yet.
No.
Ask Joe Biden to run FaceTime.
Niggas is what, 73 or some shit, right?
Trump 77, Biden 81.
No.
No. Yeah, no, it's kind of
top 73. And 5 times a week, we got easy pass scandal, nigga. You sure it's not far? Where the fuck is the money going? You should be snapping on Easy Pass, not me, nigga, bro. What? You said 81?
So I'm not 81 and 77, son.
We don't got a shot.
But yo, man, so Coco, again, thank you for joining us. Damn, we have so much to talk about. But one thing we were talking about a little bit off air, and I kind of found it wild, interesting. I want you to kind of touch on it a little bit more.
Yeah.
For people who don't know, but you should, Jersey is one of the few, not few, it's starting to get more, but Jersey is a legal state for marijuana, so let's get some clouds going on for Jersey. Finally getting that shit done. But one thing for someone like me and other people who look like me, have always wanted to kind of get into the business of selling weed, right? For generations, we've been getting arrested for it, so we want to get into it legally. But again, if you know anything about Jersey, it's a lot of things to do with the permits and how you can do that, blah, blah, blah. So if you could, just as briefly as possible, or as long as you want, whatever, can you just kind of talk about the process of like getting a weed license, or just how, like being able to sell weed legally, and like, is it as difficult as people have kind of talked about it being, or is it just a lack of kind of knowledge for people that look like us?
Yeah, no, it's definitely a difficult process. The best way for me to explain it, just like kind of put yourself in the mind frame that basically we're in a prohibition era for flower. So imagine the prohibition era with liquor, right?
Oh.
Backdooring, bootlegging, all that stuff like that when that had happened. So that's exactly what we're experiencing right now. So anything that's, what I love to say, especially with my clients, is that it's illegal until it's innovative, right?
Here's some fucking.
No, but it's true. It's illegal until it's innovative. And right now in the state of New Jersey, you got to also understand that the tri-state area in itself has made up 85% at one point in time, but always made up the biggest percentage of the black market across the nation ever since California's legalization in 1992.
That makes sense.
Of what?
Yep.
That makes sense.
What?
That makes sense.
The biggest hustlers in the
We East Coast Cali. I've always said we were East Coast Cali when it came to weed.
This is the thing.
This is news to me.
This is the thing. We're hustlers. We're not growers. That's the difference between California and here, right?
True.
So California, they have this like culture there, this craft there, where like, cultivation is at a beautiful standpoint there, right? Whereas here, we've always thrived off of California's flower. We've always thrived off the West Coast flower. So no, we're not cultivators and growers, so to speak. There obviously 100% there's amazing cultivators in the state of New Jersey. I'm just saying on a general scale. But we're definitely fucking hustlers. If there's one thing that we know, is that we know how to
sell that bitch, boy.
we know how to pick good flower, and we know how to sell it for its value. Facts. Right? And not only that, we know how to transport it. So like that's what made us, because we're hustlers. Like realistically speaking, I've lived in a lot of states. Ever since that I went to college, I've traveled. I've moved every year since I was 18. At least once a year.
Damn.
Like, I've been all
That's
over the place.
wild.
Yeah. But I realized like when I was living in Providence, when I would go out to California, when I was living in Puerto Rico, like run circles around people. Because our hustler mentality that we're built here, you could touch money anywhere.
Right.
That's wild.
People are not built like us.
Right.
And you go to the South and touch fucking money.
Yeah, because I'm so slow.
Yeah.
People are not built like us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, if you take a look at that on a bigger scale, that's the entire tri-state. So when it comes here, it is a fight. It is a prohibition area. You got to recognize that, like, they also kind of told us told us in the state of New Jersey that it's legal without giving us any real laws. Now,
that's like New York. I mean, New York is fucking wild, wild west out there because nobody know it's legal or not. Yeah. You go to the smoke shop, you pop you twice in the leg, he give you a cookie with a pound. You know what I'm saying?
I'm so nervous, niggas just have the whole shit out. I'm like, yo, Poppy, tuck that shit, my nigga.
Right there, my
guy. Like, no, run. Get it. Oh, shit, fuck it. Take that. Nah, you niggas is the best. That shit's crazy. But what's crazier about that is, like you said, the transportation. That shit's on the other side of the country. Like, is it just because where we're at? Because they're coastal, too. Is it just because, like, where we're at? Because it's, like, you think about 1 and 9 right there.
Yeah, well, we have all. I mean, think about all the major highways that can get you from state to state. I mean, we got the Turnpike that gets you all up and down PA, Jersey.
Listen.
You got 95, or no, that's Turnpike. You got just 1 and 9 if you want to really go from New York
Parkway.
to like it's I can see why transportation is. I mean, I know mans who was just getting pounds mailed to him, and he had a plug at the mail office.
People get
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Don't tell me.
There's a lot of creative ways that hustlers, legacy operators have been able to flourish. You know, have been able to build a real business for themselves. Again, it's illegal until it's innovative. This business model of these hustlers in this tri-state area is exactly what they're making legal tax dollars off of. Yet, we're still releasing non-violent criminals in phases. How does that make sense? If you made flour, if there's non-violent crimes, right? Criminals in jail for weed that you're making legal tax dollars off of, why didn't they get released all at once?
See, that's crazy.
Why are you releasing them in phases?
Right.
So it's like things like that. Like, again, they made it legal without giving us like real laws, right?
Right.
And you also made it legal in the biggest area of the black market without giving us real laws.
Right.
But what are some of the laws?
So right now is where they're trying to create some enforcement, right? When it comes to legality, and this is why people say it is really hard for people that look like you guys specifically, right? Like, because at the end of the day, as long as I keep my mouth shut, I'm white passing.
Right.
So there are certain things that, like, I don't face the same adversities as y'all.
Right.
100%. And I'm also a woman. So, like, there's also different adversities being faced there.
Right.
But inside of the industry, like, realistically speaking, especially for locals here, there's a big fight about it because the laws that they're trying to pass and the structures that they expect them to pass, there's no way that legacy operators can actually do that by themselves. Right?
True.
For instance, right? If you want to be a class 5 retail operator, which is for you to create a dispensary to sell flour. The state of New Jersey, they made it, instead of making the laws the same across the state statewide, or like basically giving a generalized area for everything, the state of New Jersey allowed every single municipality to create their own laws and their own ordinances. So there are some cities that have not opt in at all. They don't want any cannabis whatsoever. There are some cities that did opt in, but they will only issue 1 license for the whole city. Or they'll issue 2 licenses or 5 licenses for the whole city. And in the areas, they extremely restrict you on who and where you can place it because of buffers. Buffers being like school buffers, church buffers,
park, shit like
park
that,
buffers, path buffers, like things of that nature. And then there are other municipalities that were like, yo, we're open. Any place that you can place commercial, you can place a dispensary, y'all just got to talk to landlords. And then that's the next hurdle, because the way that the structure of the licensing for Class 5 is set up is you first apply for a state license. This is the Spark Notes version. There's way more to it. So obviously, make sure you guys consult with a cannabis attorney. I'm just a real estate agent, a transactional real estate agent. So I'm just giving you the lowdown. You feel me? But the first phase is that you apply for a state license, right? A state Class 5 license. That's the first application phase. That's typically the conditional on that is issued very, very simply as long as you go through the application process. After that, you have to then find a municipality because your state issuance is only conditional, which is upon the municipality. So now you have to go through the war of the municipality. The last piece of your puzzle in order to get your conditional license converted to a municipal annual state license is an approved location by the CRC.
Who the fuck the CRC?
The cannabis board.
Yeah,
Who these niggas? Yo,
the cannabis control board. The cannabis control board.
Wait, who the fuck these niggas knew?
This shit legal for 1 week. They got the Men in Black, the CRC.
Who these niggas?
The NFL, nigga. This shit is crazy.
Wait, so what is their role in all this?
So the CRC is really, again, it's just like basically a department that we can. So like when you're building a house, you have to go to the building department in order to get your zoning documents. Right.
Okay.
So the CRC is basically that department. And
okay.
the Cannabis Control Board themselves, like they're the ones that are structuring the laws. There's websites for every municipality on how to obtain a license, all that stuff, right? But essentially, the last piece of the puzzle is, in order for you to get the conversion, you have to present it, then the board votes, and they say, okay, yes, we want to convert this to an annual or whatever. They say, we'll give you, it's basically you get a conditional municipality license now. So now that conditional municipality license won't become 100% converted into annual until you, one, complete your footprint, and then they will have an inspector come out to review your footprint so basically you have to abide by certain restrictions on your floor plan. Yes, you have a retail dispensary, but you have to have a space for your staff and for security. You have to have a double door system because people cannot be coming in or out of the same entrance.
That's why they typically look like how they look, and with the okay, I was wondering, okay.
No one, every single.
Yeah, they damn near look the same, and then the security, you got a buzzing.
Yeah. Okay.
You have to have 24 hours security, not only on the outside where there's retail, but also in your holding space. Where are you containing the flower? You also have to have security bounds for when you're getting a delivery and a shipment in, and that's where we're coming back into transporting, because in the state of New Jersey, in any state that it's actually legal, it's still not federally legal. Back to how we're making shit legal without doing it the right way. So like there's still shit we're working through. Because it's not federally legal, it's illegal to sell flower across state lines. So dispensaries that are open have to sell flower that is grown in New Jersey. They cannot sell California flower. So again, a security of one, how you're obtaining the flower and where and how it's getting transported, at what time, when it's being pulled in, because everything has to get scanned inventory-wise, because the reason why they're making it legal is because obviously the tax dollars.
Right, they want to make sure they tax every piece of the product you got.
This
is fucking crazy.
Now, with the security shit, so is that like it's obvious, it's private, right? You can 100%
outsource your own security, but again, the board has to approve it. Everything has to be approved.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
That's what it seems
so why if the board like, nah, I got my man's work for this security my man's work for these 3 security companies. So luckily, if you want to get approved, you can only rock with these.
Luckily, I can say myself, I haven't experienced things of that nature, but there are other adversities that 100% are prominent within this industry. And especially because, look, the inspector coming in to review your floor plan is just one piece of the puzzle. The other piece of the puzzle, there's another inspector that comes in to make sure, especially minority-based businesses, to make sure, all businesses, MSOs, everything, but especially businesses that have no paper trail previous, that you have a holding amount of cash
on hand,
just in case anything goes wrong within your first few years of operations. And I can tell you right now, for my clients in the areas that we have worked in, for spaces between 1,000 square feet to 2,500 square feet, they're expected to have upwards of $1.5 million cash.
On hand?
Liquid in a bank account, on hands, for the inspector to review on paper.
Yeah, I'm about to say, this shit seems
how I'm supposed to get if I ain't sell shit, how I'm supposed to get the 1.5?
Now this is a gray.
Now we're getting goofy.
No.
Well, now we're getting goofy. How else? There's only a handful of people who can get 1.5 anything.
Now I'm about to say. See, now it's like you said, this is prohibition, right? Who came up in the prohibitions? The Kennedys, nigga. So what I'm getting at is
the Kennedys of Jersey.
All these houses, they don't make sense. So now it's who?
Right.
If you know the right person on the board, certain shit just get overlooked, nigga. Because if now you got to go through all these loopholes, it sounds like you don't know nobody.
Right.
Because if you got that amount of money liquid, 9 times out of 10, you're some form of entertainer, real estate,
some business
but then
person.
You already know somebody else unless you are.
You ain't just wake up with 1.5 nothing.
And to say that we're giving an open floor to legacy operators and to create those restrictions and expectations, how are you really giving a floor when you're just releasing nonviolent flower criminals and telling them they can get a license? First of all,
exactly
when you're released from jail in general, if you're in jail for over a few months, the world completely changes.
Yeah, word.
You come out of jail and you have to relearn how to put on that fucking shower.
How
to work your phone. You know what I'm saying? To expect some of these legacy operators to then be like, yeah, now you can open up a license, but we only have 2 licenses to issue out in this municipality, and you have to do within this time period. And you have to make sure you meet all these restrictions. Yeah. And I know you're born and raised here, but like, and I know you were locked up for 15 years for this, but like, yeah, these are the restrictions you have to face, right?
So in your experience, experience, what would you say is the hardest or strictest municipality you've worked with, and what would you say is the easiest?
Oh my God, I think.
Personal opinion. I mean, obviously from people that you've dealt with, and you know,
instead of me giving it to a specific city, right?
Okay.
Because I don't want to throw anybody in the dirt either. Because
that's fair.
Still brushing elbows.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Because even though there is a lot of adversities, the people who came up during Prohibition were the Kennedys, right? And the people who were strategic.
Facts. That's true.
It's illegal until it's innovative.
Facts.
So then, what's the best place? Let's stick with the best place.
Personally, right now, I think that there's a lot of value in investing in South Jersey. Okay, for a couple of reasons. One, because all of those municipalities basically were like, hell no. So they're just opting in. And because they are just opting in, because the onset of legality, if you hear, since 2018.
Right.
So like North Jersey, if you weren't brushing elbows with the right people in 2015,
it's close. By the time the shit was up, it was over. Yeah,
it's a little tough. You know, it's a little tight. It's the North Jersey. You got to pay to play. If you want to make sure that you're locked in, you have to pay to play. That's the reality of it. Right. South Jersey, there's more opportunity for smaller operators to actually open up. But the value, the best way to do it, and that's where I come in. I don't work the way like every other real estate agent has worked in this, or every other cannabis real estate agent has potentially worked in this. I work more on the side where, let's be realistic. Since every single city has their right to make their own laws, who does the city listen to? Typically the people who redevelop it, right? The people who are investing millions and millions of dollars to build it up, to bring in tax dollars, things of that nature, which is my clients. These are my owners.
Right.
Majority of these owners, they were opted out. They didn't want to touch it. They were, afraid of it. There was, banks didn't want to back it. Now, thank God to being in the game and having my expertise firsthand, there's strategies that we can work with. So I utilize my owners as the pushing force for my operators. Because realistically speaking, the city's not going to listen to the operators because there's thousands and hundreds of thousands of operators that are applying for the same positions, and some of them are out-of-state operators with millions and billions of dollars and all this proof on the books. So like, how can we prove the value of a local operator?
Right.
It's if the owner sees the value.
Right.
And realistically speaking, how do you get the 1.5 million, right? The way it works is that there's a legacy operator and they're partnered with the equity operator. You get me what I'm saying? So like, I'll tell you right now,
we can talk that language now. Now we're talking the same language. Okay.
There's very far and few dispensaries right now that have actually opened up their doors in the state of New Jersey that have been 100% self-funded, especially as legacy. They make strategic partnerships, right? And the cannabis industry is like the wild, wild west. So like, yes, there are people that can sell dreams and tell you they have all this and this and that. You got to vet even stronger with this, okay? So like, again, speaking with the right team, having the right attorneys, getting the right background. But if you have a true passion for flower, I can tell you right now, you will always win in this industry. Because every single sole equity grabber that jumps into this, every single retail operator that's like, I want to make the same thing, like a McDonald's across the board or whatever it may be. This is an actual product that we know how to pick here.
Right.
We are going to be fucking picky if we have to pay $75 an eighth. So
that shit better hit me different if I'm paying $75 an eighth.
But honestly, it seems like until like you said, it's illegal until it's innovative. That's what they're trying. So like she said, the McDonald's things. This shit really ain't about weed to them. The niggas that's trying to indoctrinate these laws and shit. It's about real estate.
Yes.
Yeah. So, they don't give a shit about weed. Oh, you're. Shit.
No free game. Actually, Coco, when you done.
Do you want to hit this last time?
Yeah, I think I deserve it. Last time you
want to redeem yourself?
I was out of sorts.
Can we redeem himself?
Appreciate that. I'm redeeming myself. I just dropped some gems. But I think it's about like, it's real. So this is a burger. They trying to figure out how conveniently to get it. That's definitely tax, but like you said, if you go too crazy, like 75 or 8, at the end of the day, you can grow this. That's the scary part. Niggas just, you can't hide a fucking cow in your crib, but you can. But
I can make better burgers than McDonald's.
How fast?
Well,
that's the thing.
That's
because now they just want to know how fast, how legal. Now the next question is, what does it say for the growers? Because you said now they're funny with the transportation. So what does it say for the growers in Jersey? Because naturally, just with climate. California, it's only 3 states on the West Coast. Cali got that shit on lock because the climate changes up and down that state. Here, we not going, like we said, we're not going to get the same quality.
Well, you need like an operation, I'm assuming. Well, actually,
but then now we're the operation. Which one of these filthy ass senators know the niggas? Because if we can't, because if you get caught with 100 pounds, you like, yo, my nigga, I'm going to the smoke shop that's legal. Like that's back to the house. Right. There's too many houses.
So cultivation. I love that you bring this up because look, even though at the end of the day, we'll realistically say, right, California, they have the vibe there. They're growers. California has both indoor and outdoor grow. Right. Don't get me wrong. Outdoor grow is a different product, right? You receive something different. But realistically speaking, if you want something that's really going to punch, it's normally an indoor grow, right? Think about haze, like back in the day, like when we was like in high school, right? Uptown haze, right? Uptown sour, like, right?
Oh, niggas had the dial. It was up.
I'm gonna tell you right now that flower was not transported from California.
Fuck no.
That flower was grown in the basements of the Bronx.
Yeah, that shit was sprayed on. Come on, no. But like you see, that's funny. I'm sorry, not to even cut you off, but like it again because we're hustlers here. You learn as you get involved in the industry and you doing your thing, or I call it's an industry now, it's crazy. But when you in the game, you get to peep like, oh, my man's Uptown had the
Yes,
and everybody call it Cali, but no, I'm Uptown. My man got it for the low and and like.
But even that, crazy. Think about that. That grow right there. That's real grow. Not even that shit's not even sprayed. That's real actual grow. You feel me? That shit is gas. To this day, dream about that shit to get your hands on that shit. That is like, you know what I'm saying?
That shit what got me caught.
That's to show you the type of the actual operators that are here. That's a cultivator. I think about like, you get me what I'm saying? That's a cultivator that grew a rose out of a crack in the concrete. Right. That grew out of dog piss. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Like, without the great weather, without the high tech blue lights and all the other shit.
Essentially created that own style of bud, because like with the light and all that other shit, like you said, I didn't even think about that.
That's the hustle here, though. That's the grit against all odds, with no opportunity, with what the fuck we got. Growing up my whole life, my dad always had a little ass hood garden, like growing tomatoes and little whatever. Like, get me what I'm saying? Whatever. Right. It's just like that's our culture. You get me what I'm saying? So we have operators here that not only had to grow flower, cultivators had to grow flower through every single fucking adversity, and that shit was gas, okay? You know, it's to top notch. To this door, still going, paying in a slot and getting a brown paper bag out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
shit. You know what I mean?
So, like, if you think about that, giving them an opportunity, since legalization, that's when the biggest drug bust started happening, right? Once the onset of legalization happened. The biggest drug bust inside of the states that actually opted in for legalization were cultivators who were pursuing legality, and nobody fucking talks about it.
Wow.
The reason why is because retail operators, you get me what I'm saying? You can move things are left in certain places, like you're mailing things, whatever this may be. But if you're a cultivator and you have a warehouse facility of 100, 300, 10,000 fucking plants, you cannot move them. They are staying there. The water irrigation system is set there. You get what I'm saying? So these are people that are actually growing and trying to pursue legality, doing everything that they can. Craft fucking growers that had to learn the craft against all odds, perfected it, for them to then get ran down on. In a legal state, in a state where it's legalized. And they're pursuing legality.
I just had a high moment. Look, now let's dive into that bitch right quick.
I'm scared because you might
40
be
seconds.
You might get me in the hole here.
But think about it. This is a new business, right? And they're not about to put in all the like footwork.
No, of course not.
So you go to the streets. You go to the streets. So the detective is like the A&R. They going to send the nigga out and see who got the bud. He going to narc it up, and then they going to raise you. And then they bring that shit back. That's how that. And then they up the price.
Yeah, then they flip it to another. Man, listen.
California just did like the state of California did like a sale of all the bongs and shit that got seized and raised and shit like that for paraphernalia. They just did like
crazy.
a whole sale.
It probably made a coming. That whole police part probably made a killing off that shit.
They didn't. They thought they would and they didn't, which is like a haha. But like,
oh, that's funny as shit. That's what they get. That's a good idea. But fuck them niggas. That's a
but like,
get some class for fucking them. Fuck them niggas. Let's class for that. Let's clap for them. Fuck them niggas.
Fuck them
like
niggas.
that. I like that. The fuck.
Damn.
It's illegal and so it's innovative.
So it's open field for the growers, pretty much. Like
that's the hardest thing. And then also too, you're saying that you're going to issue out all these retail licenses, but we can only stock the shelves of these retail dispensaries with New Jersey grown flower. There's a significant shortage of legal cultivators, probably because of all the drug busts that they did for actual operators that were growing fire gas here, or people that they're over policing in a state that is already. What case are you building truly against people that are in a state where weed is legal?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's just. Right now, it's like, how do you expect to really fill those shelves? Because also, too, this is a plant. It's not like we can just start pumping out and
yeah, you can't manufacture. I mean, I guess they've been trying, but
no, they've been stealing it, nigga.
That's true. That is true. So actually, I do want to ask you, right, with your expertise in this field and obviously touching different spots, in your opinion, what would you say would be like your top 5 dispensaries or where quality of the bud, quality of the people, and you don't got to put in no order or we don't have to do a top out. Just give me the spots that you want to recommend that just quality of service, quality of product, all that. What were some spots you would recommend for people?
Number 1, I have to say number 1 is going to be Breakwater. Now, Breakwater's in the cut. It's in like Cranberry, New Jersey, or so somewhere deep. They are.
I heard of Cranberry.
That's like Southwest, some shit like that, right?
It's super deep. I'm from Jersey City, so it's deep. But when I tell you that they're a small operation, they're a craft grow. They grow beautiful. They give a fuck about their flower. It's grown beautifully. Their staff there will give you every single breakdown, terpenes, effects, any questions that you have, any recommendations that you might
just start learning about the terpenes.
Yo, terps is it.
We'll touch the terp sleeve and start learning about the terps.
I'm about to say, I don't think I know.
So I would definitely say there. Like Breakwater, I would say is definitely number 1. And then there are a bunch of other operators that are opening up. We were talking about Urban Dispensary. Got to shout them out over in Newark.
Shout out to Urban. I've been there. Shout out to Urban. Let's get some class for Urban. Let's get some class. Great place. Wonderful owner.
Service is amazing. Definitely has a great variety of brands, which I love. Like having options to pick from versus like being stuck to the same few brands that every dispensary sells is nice. You know what I mean? Plus, we're talking about the delivery, which is A1.
Delivery service?
Yeah, they deliver.
Service. As long as you spend enough, it's free.
Yeah, hey, spend up, baby, spend up.
Word. So they're really dope. But there are, honestly, so many clients right now that I have of myself that are like in the process of opening up, that are on the way coming. And I think that focusing right now on legacy operators is the biggest thing. So you were talking about like, how can you actually get a license here? One, again, if you have a passion for this and you want to do this, I recommend doing it. Okay. But there's certain ways to go about it. Again, you need a team. First and foremost, you said this whole thing is real estate. So you need a real estate attorney, but even better if you get a real estate attorney that's worked on cannabis transactions, a specialized cannabis real estate attorney, right? You want somebody in that end. If you do not get a 2-in-1, then you want to get a real estate attorney and a cannabis attorney. So you know what you can and cannot do, what you have to prepare for, what money you need to have to the side, everything. Next person you definitely want to work with, a strong accountant. You have to forecast a lot with this business. You have to be you have to be prepared for a lot of incidentals, okay? Even though you're working 100% within the legal bounds, you can run into a situation where you have a police team that just doesn't 100% know the laws. So you wind up getting arrested, and then it's your burden to prove that you were doing everything within the legal bounds. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to retain an attorney. So being prepared for those things, having an accountant that can forecast, in your first year of operations, what the expectations would be, incidentals you might bump into. And then the last piece of the puzzle I always recommend is a strong real estate agent, which if anybody's interested, you let me know.
Yeah, it's because the class going. Yeah, I love the plug. I love the fucking plug.
Thank you. But a strong real estate attorney, a strong real estate agent that has worked on cannabis transactions, worked with cannabis clients, has a passion for this. Because, again, the real estate's the biggest piece of the puzzle. So being strategic about it. Also, a lot of people, the second that legalization happened in New Jersey, everybody ran for class 5. Everybody was like, I want to be a dispensary. But there's 5 other classes. There's 6 classes that you can work within. So, like, cultivation is one of them. There's manufacturing. So, like, there are people who just make white label, like, carts and like things like that. Okay. Distribution, which is, actually shipping things out. Like, you get me what I'm saying? Wholesale, which could be flour directly. And then delivery, which I feel like is probably the biggest overlooked and the quickest way for legacy operators to make this coin. Delivery right now in the state of New Jersey, you have to have a holding space. Restrictions are way more limited because you don't have in and out traffic. Right. So like, and they're issuing.
Okay, now we're talking.
Right?
Okay.
And they're issuing out delivery licenses, right? Now it's a matter of working with the right real estate agent to get an owner to agree to having a holding space for cannabis. And again, it's a benefit because you have to have extreme restrictions for security, right? You have to make sure that, everything is within the legal bounds of your license. So it's always a benefit to the owner. And because it's cannabis, you will be making way more within your first year of operations than any other retail operator, no matter what the business is, okay? So you'll be able to pay the owner a little bit of a premium that would make sense for the both of you for a long-term partnership. You get me what I'm saying?
Right.
So delivery, think about it, dispensary has hours. Typically, dispensary closes 9, 10 p.m. You are chilling with your boys and it's 12 o'clock and you don't have no bud. So you look on your phone and there's an app like Uber.
Right. Yeah. I've seen a couple of them pop up. I've seen, like, especially in South Jersey, a lot of them, they'll even take the drive up to, if you give them a heads up, they'll even come up here. But I peeped that maybe like, I want to say maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I started seeing some of those, like, you just Google it, like, e-delivery. A name pop up, you hit some man, and they give you the instructions, and boom.
Because is that like a contract? Like, would you now be a contractor if you, without getting stopped with the boys? Like,
so
no, it's legal. Fuck, see?
Yeah, it's legal. Technically, in the state of New Jersey, you can have up to 6 ounces on you without it being intent to distribute within legal bounds. It's personal use. So, like, and especially if now they're
in the whip.
Yeah, yeah.
Look at some class go for some knowledge today. That
shit sound too good to be. Last time I had that much weed in the car. Right? Call my mother. Last time I had that much weed, nigga. You could do it. Shit.
Oh my God, I hate him, yo. So
yeah, 6 ounces on your personal per person is legal.
Shout out to the knowledge you dropping today. Let's get some more claps going with Coco. This is amazing.
Also, with the car, with the transport thing, I think that also too, now that it is legal in the state of New Jersey, there's a few things a lot of people don't know. First of all, smell is no longer probable cause. I just want to make that very aware. So like if you get pulled over and a cop is like, I smell weed in here, they can't tell you they can't hold you up. They can't stop you. You know what I'm saying? Unless you incriminate yourself. So I guess 101, if you get pulled over and you do have flour in the car and like you're not doing anything wrong, so make sure you don't just put yourself in a situation. First thing you want to do is like obviously cooperate, be nice. When they come over, do you know why I stopped you? Oh, I smell weed, this, that, third. Did you smoke? When's the last time you smoked? Be like, listen, officer, respectfully, I'm not gonna, discuss my day with you. Am I being held up? If I'm not, is it okay if I leave? And if they say you are being held up and they say because of the weed smoke, you say, listen, officer, respectfully, I'm not discussing my day. I know that the smell is not probable cause. Am I being, held up? If not, I invoke the 5th. Just invoke the 5th. Keep invoking the 5th.
I like that.
That's
I've been invoking the 5th for a long time, actually. Yeah. I like that advice. I do that really well, actually.
And if you are...
I'm a pro at that one.
100%. And as long as you are being nice and you are cooperating and you obviously know your laws and you are invoking the 5th, like... You get sent home, okay? What happens is sometimes people get nervous and like, oh, I smoked in the morning and it's 3 p.m. and now you're fucked. You know what I'm saying? You can't, it's just to avoid any type of situation. Smell is no longer probable cause. Like there could be a big cloud.
Hey, brother. It's a lie. I'm smoking that vape, baby. Clap it up for the vape. Clap it up for the vape. The fake ass shit.
That's another thing. Stay quiet.
So just obviously not promoting smoking and driving. Obviously, everybody consumes safely.
Yeah, don't be dumb.
But don't put yourself in situations. Just be aware. So like if you are a delivery driver, being aware of this, like you are within the legal right. And again, you're allowed to have up to 6 ounces on your personal regardless. You get me what I'm saying? Yeah. Also, like still, even though it is legal here, there are some municipalities and some police forces and task forces that don't 100% understand or know anything about weed. So they may, because they are law enforcement, feel as if they have the right to
still.
Yes, and then it's your burden to prove. You still have to retain an attorney to get the case dismissed. You get me what I'm saying? So do things the right way. Not only cooperate, be polite, all that good stuff, but like if you are transporting flour, it should be held in a safe, locked up in your trunk. If you don't have a safe that you can put in your trunk, then make sure it's in the glove compartment, locked up. Make sure someplace locked up. Like, you get me what I'm saying? Just avoid any issues. Like, protect yourself. Even though it is legal, we're still in a prohibition era. Right. And the reality of it is there's a over-policing of a legalized plant.
Right.
That's just the realities.
I mean, that ain't nothing new again, though. They try to trick you and tell you it's legal now. But hey, brother, they been running down on us since we were 13 years old.
Whole car getting locked up over a clip.
So that someone threw out the window. They're not even in the whip.
The boy in the back chewing it.
Yeah, shit. I don't want to talk about it. But hey, so before we go today, I do want to bring up one other thing. Actually, two other things. But first, I know really more dealing the marijuana retail market. Yeah. But again, you are a real estate agent. You've touched a lot of things. So just someone who has expertise in the field, do you have any predictions or like how do you feel the housing market, just the regular housing market is going? Where do you think it's gonna go? Because no one can get a house no more. No one can barely afford rent. So like, just your personal thoughts and kind of where you are seeing the housing market's
the market
gonna go
in general. So housing market, one thing just before, because I'm gonna touch back on this. I think the commercial market is in a really beautiful place and it's only gonna get better. But we'll go back to that. Now the housing market, what I recommend, especially with people our age, right? It feels, especially in this area, because everything is, the value of the land is up. It's land that's
way
valuable.
Too much up.
Yeah, it's the land that's valuable. So like if you or your family doesn't own anything here, which is the case for majority of us, like, you know what I'm saying? If we don't own anything on the land that we hold so dear to our heart, then it's time for us to invest in land to hold dear to our heart. That does not mean that it has to be overpriced land, that it doesn't make sense for the numbers, our investment, our risk factor right now. You can purchase property anywhere.
So you're saying put pride aside. That's what that sounds like.
In a sense, but not really. The reason why I say that is because if you invest in another location, anywhere across the nation, whether you want to invest in Baltimore or another inner city that you would love to be the developmental factor of it versus these bigger hedge funds being the developmental factor of it in these inner cities, you become the landlords, right? In those areas. You can now afford, because there are prices in those areas, you can purchase property, sometimes land value for, $100,000 in some places. You don't see that shit here.
Never.
Ever. Okay? So being able to actually own something is more important than us claiming a land that we have no real physical attachment to. Like, if you really think about it, like, we go so hard for the land, but we own nothing here. We go so hard to say that we're so proud of it, we're raised here, whatever. We've been nothing to, but honestly, on the shit end of the stick when it comes to the living circumstances here.
Facts.
So if we know what the fuck that feels like, I feel like we would be great landlords, no matter what city that's in. That's true. Right? It's only going to be a benefit to that city. Right. And the only thing that will help us do is now get expertise with a smaller risk factor so that we can get our bag up, so that we can make the right connections, potentially now make JV partners. I could tell you right now, for the people that are purchasing property, especially these big developments now doing skyscrapers, it's not one head.
No.
Right?
No.
I have a client right now that they are a religious group. And there's about 20 of them that purchase land together, get approved for the rights together, and then do 100+ unit story developments, a religious group, okay? And I'm talking an indigenous religious group. Like, I'm not
Like
talking...
a cult.
No.
No, not that. That's
Like,
not an addition. That's me.
No, but this is vague. This is vague.
I don't want to say...
Yeah,
can you believe it? I'll tell y'all. It'll make sense when I tell y'all, but I just don't want to disclose.
Yeah, we'll talk it off. We'll talk it off.
But if we have an opportunity, the goal at the end of the day is to own lands. Like, no matter in what industry, what you do, when you get money, one of your investments should 100% always be to own land. They're not making it. You can't make more of it.
Right.
You get me what I'm saying? So no matter where the land is, get your coin up, become a landlord, learn, have a lower risk factor. When you get your bag up, you'll also make the right connections. Who knows if now you'll have 20 heads that you could put to one property, and then you can invest in something in your own community. But like, it seems scary when we're like, the only way that I can buy a single family on a 100 by 25 lot in Jersey City is if I have $800,000 to spend on the land, and then another $300,000 to $400,000 on development. That sounds scary for an investor, somebody that has a higher risk factor.
Well, how would people get this information? That's the thing, is access, knowing that. Because if you just Google some shit, niggas don't even know the right question to Google.
Don't even know how to Google that right.
Team,
so you just, a lot of the times, the people are a lot more hard on themselves because they think they're selling themselves short. But like, they don't know. You don't even know. So it's like you said, if you can get a group, invest in the property first. And how would it work for transportation and holding? Like, is that too, like, so if you...
For cannabis?
Yeah, if you, like...
So, like, what do you mean, like delivery and holding?
Yeah, because like you said, like the transportation rules is funny. But like, if you, let's say you, like, you holding the shit too. Like, you're not a dispensary. Like, what?
I guess you can't be both, right?
Like a wholesaler. No. There are some.
But that's
There are some of my clients that are holding multiple licenses. I'm saying,
you have to license it out.
We can have a whole podcast on just the cannabis real estate portion of it.
Right.
We just touched on like some of the real realities because like we got to talk the real shit. Nobody talks about it.
Right.
But it's a beautiful industry and there are a lot of portions of it. So like I have some clients that own facilities that are 25,000 square feet. They use 10,000 square feet for the retail dispensary. The remainder of some of the square feet for the manufacturing license that they have, the remainder of some of the square feet for the distribution license that they have, and the remainder of some of the square feet for the wholesale license, which would be the holding of all the wholesale items and then being able to sell. So, and then now with Class 5 in New Jersey, you're the only people technically that can have a licensed on-site consumption lounge, right? So even with that, some of those spaces are being on site at these, locations. So you can have a multiple license. It is the same. You got to go through all the processes. I can tell you right now, if you do get your first approval for one license, it does help you streamline to obtain additional licenses.
Because obviously I got background on you now. And, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But also working with a team. My clients not only have cannabis attorneys, not only have real estate attorneys, not only have have accountants, they have lobbyists in their municipalities that they're working in. The operators, the legacy operators, they're now partnering with the equity operators who are now connected with all the city officials, right? That are able to have communications and show value of the project that they're presenting. So it's having the right team. You're not gonna, and again, Googling is the start. Look, I told you, I come from humble ass beginnings, okay?
Right.
I'm the first person in my family to graduate from college. Like, I was self-taught 100%.
Roses.
Thank you. I was self-taught 100% when it comes to this real estate shit. Like, nobody taught me shit but failing fucking forward. You get me what I'm saying? And like seeking information. Those are the type of people that are always gonna be of value to you, okay? Also, realistically speaking, the people who, on the other end of it, who have had these conversations passed down to them generationally will also be of value because they know the fucking game.
Right.
So it is important for us to kind of make strategic partnerships, how to weed out the right people in both areas. Because realistically speaking, whether you're in the hood or whether you're in the
suburbs,
highest of the top of the top of the top, there's going to be a crab in a bucket mentality regardless.
Right. Especially in this industry.
Of course. So it's finding the right people, that 1% of people to actually navigate with. And that will only come through experience, right? So whatever risk factor you have, fucking take it. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, even though I'm talking...
I love that.
I
love the advice there.
Right.
That's great.
A lot of gems.
Even though I'm talking shit about like, the adversities, it's just the adversities, bro. We've been through worse. It was illegal. Like, you get me what I'm saying? Like, if you are passionate about this in any way, whether it's just being a landlord or whether it is being a cannabis operator in any way, shape, or form, pursue it. Because that grit and that hunger is inside of 1% of people that cannot be taught, that cannot be passed down, that cannot be bought. That's why they have to partner with us as legacy operators. You get me what I'm saying? Like, you can't, unless you have your
100%.
feet in the fields, unless you have done this, unless you have experience, especially in this area, knowing the reason why I'm such a good real estate agent, because I was born and raised in Jersey City.
Right.
I know this area like the back of my hands.
Right,
You get me
right,
what I'm
right.
saying? So like that type, I have almost 30 years of experience that somebody that is the best top agent in New York City can't even hold a candle to.
Talk your talk, sis. It's National Women's Month. Talk your talk. Tell the other nigga they ain't fucking with me. That's what she said.
No,
I said it for you. She said y'all not fucking with her. That's all she said. She said it elegantly, but you not fucking with her. That's what she done told y'all. Don't worry, we'll be our mouthpiece. Come on, son.
Nah, hit the button.
Get some bombs and fucking
like that
gunshots
button
after that. Come on, son.
Mouth and shit. That's
Don't
good,
worry,
though.
we heard you,
button.
sis. We heard you.
Stop, I'm blushing.
We heard you.
Nah, you right. Son, I don't think, so how I'm here, my mind racing, because like basically right now I see like play the middleman game. The middleman eat right now because it's the gray area. So that's where the money sit. If you honestly, like you said in the hood, my mind, so let's just say if these niggas just get a lot, don't even, damn, I can't get the weed license. Get a lot for your man who, let's say, want to hold or transfer, because you can do so much, and then you can because you can have weed in a car, right? I just found that out.
You really like that fact. That's
No,
the
'cause
fact
think
that
about it. Think
today
about
you
it.
really learned.
Those good sounds good.
What if he now got a lot for cars, and then he want to start a transportation shit? Niggas is not LLCs, they not getting, but you and your 4 niggas now can park your car with the weed.
You already got the clientele. You already have the operations down pat.
They don't have to take it too crazy.
You already know how to pick the weed. You already know how, and he has the entire facility set up. I'm telling you right now, I have clients, I have good friends, clients that have turned into good friends that they had somebody reach out to them that had obtained a license in a place that had like a restricted license app. So like had 1 or 2 license like being able to issue or 3 license being issued. They got directly contacted because they're legacy operators, been in the game in the minute, and they were like, yo, I'm opening up a dispensary, I need an operator. And that's how they made the partnership. So it's just a matter of, take the risk, put yourself out there, talk to everybody. Like, take the risk, start. Like, just start.
Any way you can.
Man, let's get some claps going. Before we go, today has been fucking educational and mind-blowing as fuck. I can't express how thankful we are for you joining us. We do this with every guest, and after the gems you dropped today, I really want to hear your answer on this. I kind of even know it already, but if you can just give one piece of advice to whether it's somebody who wants to get into the cannabis industry one way or another, somebody who wants to follow your path and do more of the real estate cannabis side, just this industry in general. If you have one basic piece of advice, what would you give them?
Educate yourself. Don't just accept the information that people tell you. Don't watch a video or 2 and think that that's right. Like, take the time to go out of your way and really, really, really educate yourself. Because if you're not educated, what does happen is you tend to get taken advantage of, right? You get yourself to a plateau, and then you have to become reliant on other people to fill those voids. In this industry, the more you know for yourself, the better. And I think, again, that comes from not just like going and doing the research yourself. That comes from being in the field physically. Back to just do it. Like, just take the risk, just do it. Because you're not going to learn it until you learn the hard way. Like, this industry, there is no blueprint. There is no example. There's nobody, even the lawmakers have nothing to base anything off of.
Right.
We are learning as we go, and the laws change every day. And it is illegal until it is innovative.
That's a fucking theme of that's the theme. That's the title of the goddamn episode.
Let's do it.
God damn, that's great. All right, man, before we let you go, please let people know where they can find you if they want to contact you for business, if they just want to follow you because they love everything you was spitting today. Please let everybody know where they can find you.
I will. So, okay. Couple of things you guys want to contact me. For anybody that is looking to do real estate, whether you're looking to do land acquisition, development, commercial real estate, if you're looking to open up a retail location of any sort, whether it's leasing or purchasing, and obviously any type of cannabis real estate, feel free to contact me. My direct Instagram is ariana.highsociety. You guys can check me out on there. I have everything else plugged up on there. I also do a few other things, like I'm all over the place.
No, please. Tell them everything you do. Yeah. We shut the fuck up. Come on. We just
plug it in.
Fuck us.
I'm trying. I also own 2 convenience stores and smoke shops in the city that I was born and raised in. I have a beautiful passion for tobacco and glass, so pull up. We have every single wrap that you can imagine, whether you're looking for hookahs, bongs, you name it. We have student glasses, 2 locations.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, 2 locations. I have one in Journal Square, Sip and Smoke. The page is on my Instagram, but it's at Sip, the letter N, Smoke JC. The other location is in Indian Square in Jersey City, and that is called the number 1 Stop Shop JC, and that you guys can follow both. But yeah, hit me up, contact me, let me know in any way. I also talk a bunch of shit. Third thing that I own is I own a podcast room as well.
Yeah, there it is. I waited for you to drop that. Yeah, I was waiting for that one.
Thank you. So that one, it's open for rentals at any time, or if anybody would love to be a guest, I gotta have y'all on the show now.
We
gotta reciprocate.
We gonna slide.
100%.
That's fun.
And Shy, you got pull up. It's over.
He was showing up anyway. I don't think he asked for the invite. He was looking at me like we out.
I knew. But yeah, it's open for all different types of creatives, whether you're just looking to get content for your business or if you want to actually shoot a podcast there, definitely pull up. So yeah, that's everything.
Oh my God. Again, thank you so much for everything today. Thank you for the knowledge. Thank you again for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. Hey man, King Solomon, No Free Game Podcast.
No free game.